Let me just say, if you're here, you're a real one, okay? I don't have the soundboard enabled yet. That's next scene, so here's my own applause to you, okay? If you're here, you are based because you're here to see what makes one of the tracks from my album tick, warped up beyond all recognition. Are you ready? Hello there, and welcome back! My name is Paul, aka Modus. As always, I hope you've had an amazing week. Well, weekend. It's been like two days. It really hasn't been that long, huh? Hello, Dempel. What's up? FIFA World Cup. Modus Live. Yeah. You get a sounding board. Yes, exactly. How cool would it have been if the shuffle playlist that I have on the background music on OBS picked Woobar first thing? But hey, we got Best of Us, which is equally a fa. Let's go, dude. Let's go. So yeah, it really hasn't been that long since last time we saw each other. We did feedback 48 hours ago. Exactly 48 hours ago. We were sitting here doing feedback for almost 5 hours. So yeah. And now you're here to see the innards, the insides of the Warped Up Beyond All Recognition FL Studio Projecto. Sampleable. Yes. Well, that you can just find that online. I didn't make that. I didn't make up that effect. Hey, what about this one? No, not this one.
E.
There you go. I swapped out the original E for Toki Machine's E.
E.
So now I have Toki on my board.
E.
Just saying E. Alright, guys. Something to say. The breakdown. So we're gonna get to the project, the production, the sound design, the textures, the drums, the automations, the non-automations, and everything. And then we're also gonna get to the mixing and mastering project. And then when we're done with that, usually what I've been doing is I'll leave up the full VOD free to watch, and then the supercut, which comes up a few days later, also free to watch. But it didn't really make a lot of sense because you had both the supercut and the full VOD up for free, and I gotta eat somehow, okay, people. So what I'm gonna do is the supercut is gonna stay free. So the most important tidbits are still gonna be there. That's the one most people are gonna want to watch. And then if you really want to see me yap for 3 to 4 hours, the full VOD will be members only, as every other stream ever. Okay? So, yeah, I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys understand. I have the project open here with me. It looks smaller than it really is because I have collapsed everything. It's all neatly organized into groups, and it looks smaller than it really is. So you'll see as I expand them just how big, so massive the project is. As always, Jarrett will be putting together the supercut and one reel for each of these breakdowns, because we're in breakdown season. Okay, we just put out an album June 1st, 2026. Nice round date. It was also a Monday, which Modus Mondays are now real. They're now a thing. Okay, so I ran a poll on the Discord server, which, by the way, if you're somehow not already in the Discord server, what are you doing? Just hit that link. You know, we're breaking down. Wait, we're having a breakdown, boys. Woo! Yeah! Okay, we gotta stay with you in the background now. So I ran a poll on my Discord server, and the album is obviously 11 tracks, right? But I can't do 11 breakdowns because we're gonna be here for a very, 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 very long time. So I thought, okay, for now, we're gonna pick 3, okay, and the 3 tracks that y'all want to see analyzed, broken down the most, okay, the ones, the breakdowns you absolutely could not live without, okay, not barring the possibility that in the future, okay, say a few months down the line, maybe next year, we can do a retrospective breakdown of a song from the album, of a different song from the album that you guys didn't get to see now, right? So that's still a possibility, but for now, the 3 that you guys wanted most, the 3 that you absolutely could not live without, is obviously this one, Worked Up Beyond All Recognition. And then next week, next Tuesday, we have Primum Temporis with Alien Echo, based collab, really cool, just sound design bonanza. And then the third one is The Final Frontier. So those are the 3 ones that you guys voted on in the server. Those were the ones that most people wanted to see, okay, like right now. So yeah, every Tuesday for the remainder of this month, because we have 3 Tuesdays left, 3 breakdowns, boom, math. So yeah, today it's Woobar time. Next week, next Tuesday, same time as today, we've got Primum Temporis, right? And then the following the following Tuesday, June 30th, will be The Final Frontier. So we'll wrap it up with Absolute Cinema, the song. Astral Base, the song. Okay? Can't wait to see the Final Frontier project file again. It's been a while since we've seen it on the streams. Yeah, it also looks quite different, because for a lot of the tracks of the album, what I did is a full stem mixdown. So in this case, Woobar is one of the few tracks I still did like grouped stems for. So like all of the instruments in one stem, right? But for like 8 or 9 out of the 11 tracks of the album, I did full stem mixdown. Every single instrument is its own stem, right? And for that, I had to set up the project in such a way that when I hit the export playlist groups, it was just an automatic export. And I just had to click one button and just sit back and watch it unfold. Or like maybe watch it export as the other computer renders visuals for the album. Right? So I had to reorganize the project, and so what I did is I copied the arrangement. I made a so once the song was finished, I made a duplicate of the arrangement, because obviously I didn't want to lose the original, like my personal production view, right? Like my arrangement, the one I actually used to produce. So there's that, and then there's the stem export arrangement view, which is probably the one we'll be doing the breakdown on, because it's a lot more organized, and it's all, you can just nearly see strings group, flute group, and then sound design group, and then bassist group, and then the like that one effects that one effect sound that appears once in the track group. And it's all one line each. It's a longer project, because we no longer have that thing where like many different types of sounds are like crammed into like one playlist track. Everything has its own track, right? So pretty much like any other DAW. So like Ableton, for example, you would have one sound per line. So the non-linearity of FL Studio, we did away with that. Anyway, I'm I'm getting a little carried away here. No wonder Stay With You was an absolute cinema mix. Yeah, so Xylo was in charge of putting that together, and he basically asked me for, hey Paul, we're putting together an absolute cinema compilation. At this time, I was already like reached out to be to be a guest in the event, and so he was putting together the mix, and he was like, hey, do you have any songs that you could send my way for the mix that would fit the absolute cinema description? And I was like, yeah, I got just a tune for you. I had just finished Stay With You. I had just finished the vocal mix for Stay With You at that point. So sending his way. Finally, some organized FL projects. I know, right? This project, the WooBar project, is color coded, so the clips are not colored vomit green and bile pink. Okay, but it's still a mess. But at least it's a color coded mess. The Final Frontier and Primum Temporis is even more of a mess than Warped Up is, because that project is older. But the Final Frontier, which is the most recent of the three, was pretty good. I don't use color codes in playlists. You are missing out. Do you enjoy watching your do you enjoy your audio clips being vomit green? Just saying. Yellow piss. Yeah. Pass. Val's Galactica. Yeah, let's turn it up. Never be alone. Not gonna lie, Val's Galactica was kind of the track, the song that unlocked the whole, like, you can make songs in time signatures other than 4/4 thing, right? It was the track that, like, reassured me or that, like, validated the, I can do this, like, I can do something other than 4/4. And so, like, basically Pandora's Box opened at that time, and then Quest for New Wings was born, which is like in a mixture of 3A and then 6A. The like accents change all the time, and then Final Frontier, which starts at 7/4, then goes to 6/4, then goes briefly back to 7/4, and then the rest of the track goes back to 6/4. It's just a little mixture, just for the sake of like telling the story. All right, We Depart, We Remain, for example, the like album outro, also has a mixture of 4/4 and 3/4. What Lies Beyond is in 3/4, the whole thing, right? Yeah, just lots of really interesting things that wouldn't have been possible without the pilot test that was Val's Galactica, right? I wouldn't have had the same security that I wouldn't have felt as safe or as at home doing that. Does that make sense? But when I see that someone put samples, pattern, and automation clips on one track, I want... Except we do that. So like when we see others do that, we get so offended. Like, dude, why do you have zero organization in your project, but then we do it every day, and we don't mind when it comes to our own projects? Necesito ver el proyecto de WooBar. I will translate for you guys in English, okay? I need to see the project for WooBar after having watched the trailer for Shrek 5. I also just watched the trailer for Shrek 5. It like popped up in my feed here. It's right here, actually. IGN, Shrek 5 official teaser trailer. By the way, wasn't IGN like a video game review channel? Since when did they post movie trailers? What the heck? Gotta refresh. Gotta like I have to unsee Shrek 5. Alright. So yeah, guys, if you didn't make it to this breakdown live, you can expect a supercut. So like an abridged 30 to 40 minute version of the breakdown with the most important bits. Shout out Jared. Prism. IGN do everything now. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. It's just that they like pivoted from just video game stuff to a little bit of everything. All right. Shall we get it started, people? Shall we? Whoa. There we go. Shall we get it started, people? All right, let's get warped up beyond all recognition in 3, 2, 1. All right, I hope that wasn't as loud as last time. See? It looks a lot smaller when it's all like collapsed like this. But as soon as you start, oh my god, oh boy, yeah, that's large. So like I said, it's just barely intelligible. Primum Temporis is worse than this, and then the Final Frontier is leagues better than this. That's the like curve. This is a fancy color-coded mess. Primum Temporis is an even worse fancy colored mess, and then the Final Frontier is just a joy to look at. I don't think you guys have ever seen the finished project, right? Because we were working on Warped Up Beyond All Recognition Live for quite a while. All right, for like a solid few weeks. And then we just pivoted to something else. That was like, what, 2024, I want to say? And then 2025 was when I finished the track. And then in 2026, I revisited the mixdown. And that's that. And then we put it in the album. But I don't think you guys have ever seen the project fully finished, fully wrapped up like this. So, excited. Pretty cool. Let's see if the like tempo changes perform well. I have set the buffer to maximum, so here it goes. Let's give it a shot. Guys, welcome to FL Studio. You are now watching the project breakdown for Warped Up Beyond All Recognition, which was the first standout single that came out ahead of the album's release, Regnum Ultra, out now everywhere, by the way. Merch is just starting to roll out throughout this week, by the way. This shirt just dropped like an hour ago. I put it up on the website, on the like shop. I made it public like an hour ago. So and it should be tagged on this stream. So somewhere in the description, presumably, hopefully, you can see or maybe in the like annotations somewhere, because YouTube things. So yeah, or if you just go to shop.imo.us, which should be accessible with that command, Nightbot, at some point, feel free. There you go. So just go there, and first thing you should see, if you scroll down just a little bit, is the light version of this, which is the one I'm wearing right now. So you can see it has the logo in the center, and then at the back it has your Starstruck thing. There you go. You can't see it very well, but there. And then there's a white and black version of this. So like exactly the opposite, on sale as well. And the Regnum Ultra CDs are available as well. So if you type in any of these commands, !physical, !CD, or !vinyl, any of the three will work. Okay, and you'll be taken to the like physical releases landing page of my website, and there the album should be available now. There it is. So when you first go there, it says new Regnum Ultra Physical Edition includes 3 bonus instrumental versions, and you can get that CD right now. Limited edition. I'm doing a run of 20. If they sell out, I might be doing more. So yeah. Let's get to this. Warped Up Beyond all recognition. How did this happen, really? Because I don't really like. It wasn't the like super complicated or the like super elaborate. Oh, and then I thought about, and then this like melody when you calculate and like there wasn't really like the backstory for this is I was like in the shower probably. And then bum 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 bum, and then it just happened. And I was like, "What the heck? That's sick!" But it's also like a very short melody. Surely someone has come up with that before with the bum 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 bum. Like it's such a no-brainer of a melody that it has to have been made before somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I tried looking at some of my some of the like places where I typically find my references, like usually video games from like my childhood. I try to look in like Panzer Dragoon. I try to look in like the like Nintendo DS Lite Sonic games. I couldn't find it, and I was like, well, I guess I just have to accept that this song really was like really came up in a vacuum, and there really is nothing else like it somewhere. Like when I sent it to Token Machine, the first time I sent it his way for his feedback streams, he also mentioned somebody has to have come up with that melody before. Like it's such a no-brainer of melody, but no, I can't find it. So let's go with it. Let's run with it. Well, there it is. That's the intro, and as you can see, I forgot to like put up a like little disclaimer. What you're seeing here, the project is unmixed. So later, I did a mixing and mastering in a separate project with stems and all that. So this might sound a little bit different. So like this might have slightly different mixing to the final version that you hear in the album. I think Woobar on stream and in GD just synced up. All right, so let's see what makes this project tick. And there it is. Okay, so first off, we have the saw wave. Probably just a regular saw wave compressed to heck and beyond. Yeah, see? It's just saw waves, dude. Like the intro was just saw waves and then Brahms, like brass, on every bomb. So yeah, that's just that. I took this looped sample, which is just 2 Brahms, really. So I had 2 distinct variations of the same brass hit that I could alternate, if need be. And then I just cut it up. I think I've removed the bass. No, not really. Okay. So I just took out some mids and then brightened it a little bit. And that's that. And then this is just a saw wave. So this has that like synthetic energy and like compressed intensity to it, right? So what this is, if I turn off all of the effects, it's literally just the init saw wave from not even Serum 2. This is Serum 1. And it's literally just a saw wave. So here, in order, we've got the following effects. An OTT. A dimension expander. With like the smallest size possible. So it's just a tiny bit of room. See that? So we go from full dry to a very subtle room. It's almost like an amp kind of thing. And we got an all-pass phase. Makes it sound a little bit more like bubbly and like phase weird-y. Then we've got a destructor to help with like just like clip that to heck and beyond. Beyond our raw recognition. That's gonna be a theme here. Then we have a frequency shifter, which is actually disabled because this is used later in the track. So this will get automated on and off as track in certain spots of the track. Same goes for this EQ, which is pretty much just a filter. So this is not enabled at the minute. It will get enabled later in the song when it is needed. And then I have this thing, which is a Lux verb, which is also automated out. But when it is needed, it'll get automated in the wet level. And that's really it. So that's the lower bass one, right? So we have We have this same thing, but then we also have a secondary layer to this higher. Bum 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 bum. Right, so we have two layers to this. We have the saw one, sounds like this, and then I have the square one. So it's just the same thing. It's run through the same exact chain actually, but it is just a square with a little bit of a pinch. Right? And so when you combine the two together, you get both saw and square playing together. So there it is. Hi Paul, so that scrolling humans background is so sick. Yeah, I'm loving it too. I basically did the same thing VFX wise. I ran this like marquee scrolling effect in DaVinci Resolve, but then I put it through an ASCII text like effect layer where it replaced all of the pixels with ASCII characters, and it made it look like that, more like pixelated. So there is saw and square together, and some of them have even like different lengths. So the saw wave plays slightly longer than the square in certain instances. So that way I can control the like tail. So the saw lasts a little longer than the square. So as you can see, the tail of the sound morphs into like more of the saw wave territory. So the sound starts being just a 50-50 square saw blend, but then the tail end of it is just a saw. So it's almost like the square wave part of the sound fades out and gives way for the saw wave. So yeah, just tiny things. And then we have this. Whoa. This is just my usual D-pad preset with an LFO on it. So if I bypass this, like so, it's just a detuned saw, right? Yeah, activate. A little less. There you go. And so when you put the three together, the dry saw, the detune saw, and the Bram, well, you get that. Then we have a reverb automation that's just gonna have those like nice little swells. And I'm actually automating the phase of the square wave part of the lead. So this square wave, I'm actually automating the phase, so I can control how the phase of the square and the saw, how the harmonics sum up or cancel to create slightly different like textures in that square plus saw interaction. So there it is, bam, 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 bam. Which, by the way, you will see this tiny little like baseline cell repeat later in the build-up, in the bam, bam, bam. So we're already teasing that here, bam, 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 bam. Right. So we see the multiple Brams. We see some tiny snippets. So I just reverbed the bam, bam. Right, so I just took that, reverbed it, bounced it, reversed it. Then we have some HUD sounds, right? Some like UI sounds. Pretty cool. Just tiny in there, minus 17 dB. And we have the vocal new mission, survive. Survive. I don't recall if this is text to speech or if this is me. Survive. This does sound like text to speech. This doesn't sound like me. So yeah, it's the like human's voice basically. The like same text to speech system that I've been using for the humans all of these years, including in the Near Protocol series. It's the same TTS system. It's just run through vocal synth, and then I bounced it, so the vocal synth is no longer here. But just know that this is a vocal synth with the I think it was CompuVox. Yeah, CompuVox set with bats all the way up, so that creates this like whispery effect. New mission, survive. Right? That kind of effect. New mission, survive. Survive. And then I have a little EQ there for a little more bass, cutting some resonances here and there, and there's that. All of that while the melody is still playing. All right, this is cool because once you have enough tracks in E minor, you guys will know that E minor is like one of my favorite keys, if not my favorite key of all time. I like every NYP has E minor in some way, shape, or form. A lot of my other tracks are also in E. This one is in E. This is like Modus the song, basically. And also a bit of a spiritual successor to Superluminal. So we have references from No Limits and New Year Protocol 7. So we have sounds from No Limits from the album with the same name. So we have sounds from my first album going into my second album. Right, so this is from, I reversed the song. But just know the song is has all of these little like effects at the intro. That's No Limits. Right? So I have all of those snippets that I like chopped up together. This is sick. That's sick. Hi, Hacky, by the way. Just hi, everyone in chat. I'm aware I'm not reading chat a whole lot because I am like focused on this, but just know that you're here, you're based, you're amazing. Welcome to the stream. Right, so we have that flat supertonic chord, very, very like classic Modus thing to do, flat second. So we got an F major in this case, and then there's also a swell from NYP7, very subtle. All right, so yeah, there it is, these three. And we've got a sub-zapper, we've got some snare rolls. Right, this is a lighter snare. This is Shark's Snare 14 from one of his packs. It's called Shark's Bass Sample Pack. Very simply named. And yeah, just some reverse crash effects, reverb swells, and automations to filter all the stuff in. So yeah, just an elaboration on the theme. Bam, 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 bam. Dun, 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 bam, bam, bam. So we've got some layering work here. That's one of the basses from the drop. So I just bounced a bunch of basses from the drop, which they're here. Right? Let me just... Hello? There it goes. Wow. Vital basses in there. I just bounced those. And I put them in the build-up. Oh, in like the intro to the build-up. So like the like pre-build-up. We've got some Canopsia razors. These are also from No Limits. So yeah, we're like putting together like every like generation of Modus sounds is in here, old and new. We got super verbs from my Supernova sample pack 2020. We've got some brasses from the intro. And then this, which is called Deep Waters. Not really Deep Waters. For some reason, the name is different here than it is in the sample. The Bram is called Evil God. And this Bram, I've used extensively in my Walls of Sounds. It's just a really neat, really just evil, hence the name, sounding Bram. And yeah, I just repitched it to E, and I took away the bass, because we have a bass. Yeah, there's that. And then we have a synth from Superluminal. You know, that thing. Yeah, I just like pitched it around. And then you're gonna see this a lot throughout the first drop. We've got tons of sci-fi weapon reload type, like Foley sound effects. I made extensive use of this pack from Boon Library called Cyber Weapons Designed, and it's got tons of these like super like futuristic Halo-esque like weapon reload things. You know, all sorts of sick effects. Yeah, tons of fillers from the first drop are in there. This one included. And that plays during the bam bam. We have several things at play here. So we have trailer impacts. That also adds to the cinematicness of things. So yeah, we haven't really talked about the drums that much here. It's just, yeah, kick impacts mixed with trailer hits and claps. So yeah, all very cinematic driven. Bong. And we have heartbeat pumps here. So they're synced to the tempo. And then this trailer impact, I mixed it in with a literal thunder sound. A very powerful thunder sound, and I think this is processed from like a Star Wars movie or something like that. Yeah, this is a Star Wars sample. So I just took one of those hits. It's just sick, isn't it? And then you mix it in with the trailer hit, man. Two factions at war. And then here we're already starting to tease the bum 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 bum. So here we have the same. So if you were there for a stream that I did the week that the album dropped called Regnum Ultra Live Album Commentary and Q&A with Pollock and Modus, I explained a concept that I experimented with throughout the whole album, really, and that was separating. So think of any leitmotif. This one, bum 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 bum. That leitmotif has two elements to it. There's the notes and there's the rhythm. The notes are bum 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 bum. So just E, D, B, D, F, E. That's just that. And then the rhythm, which is right? So separating these two elements, you can play around with the rhythm part of the leitmotif, and you use it to tease the melody part of the motif. So I'm just teasing dum 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 with a bass synth here. Oh, that's just sick. So yeah, there is dum 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 first with a bass synth, and then with some more sci-fi weapon reload type thing. And then this also has a layer from Spectra 2024 song. And then there's all sorts of ambience. We have this impact from, I believe this is Xylent. Very old pack. Disciple Pack Volume 1. This is what, like 2014. I don't think you can find this on the internet anymore. It's just on my computer now. Oh. And it's in key as well. It's just awesome. It's dark. So I reversed it. What a nice little, you know, like very ominous. And then there is a vocal sample as well here. And then there's this. So this is probably just one of the high notes of the lead here. Bam bam. Bam bam bam. So I probably recorded an E. Reverb did a bunch, bounced it, and then it's here. Exactly. And then we have some more like futuristic HUD UI, like interface sounds. Like control terminal, something like that, you know? And there it is. And then at the end, the HUD effects line up with the bam 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 bam. See that? And then there's this. Male choir, I'm pretty sure. And then there's this sample. I think I took this from the Matrix because it says Matrix. I have to get used to this new soundboard for real. Yeah, there it is. The Matrix. So, what I did here, I think, is I sampled... You guys know the final battle in Matrix Revolutions, Neo versus Agent Smith. The like Dragon Ball-esque type battle where they're just like floating. And then they like battle while airborne. And they have like these like massive like water bubble impacts everywhere. So I took one of those and I isolated the music from the sound effects. I used this tool that's normally for extracting stems, like a cappella stems from music. It's called Ultimate Vocal Remover. So I have it here installed, and I tried using it to separate music from sound effects. And I got it to work reasonably well enough that I could use some of the samples from the movie in here. That's pretty sick. You know they used Metasynth to make the sound design in the Matrix? I did not. But that's great that you pointed out, because I'm gonna save it here on a tab here, and I'm gonna look it up later, because like everything Matrix I am a sucker for. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Alright, here goes. Then we have this. Oh yeah, this is called Scarlet Bass because it uses a pretty similar sound to the Scarlet ARP. In fact, it is the literal Scarlet ARP. You guys remember the Scarlet ARP? You know, this, the most iconic Modus sample ever, probably. So I used the Scarlet ARP preset. I used it here as a bass. So yeah, all of it when combined together. Oh, we forgot about these two. Yeah, just like two more. Oh, and by the way, we have some like ear ringing sounds. So kind of like isolating, like almost like tunnel vision. You know, when you get hit in your ear and your ear starts ringing and you're like dazed and confused. warped up beyond our recognition. Is the sort of stuff that happens to your ears. You like get dazed and confused, and that's kind of what the song is. You know, the like song within the context of the album talks about this new universe that has just been created, and now we have to like navigate the madness that is the early moments of any new universe. So the Big Bang, for example, right? The first few million years of the Big Bang were this like soup of subatomic, like super hot soup of subatomic particles, right? So I kind of tried to like go for that vibe of the early moments of a new universe being born, and everything's like very chaotic and nothing's set in stone yet, right? Some more sci-fi weapon reload effects. And we get to the main event. Vocals! Souped up beyond our recognition. All right, let's get to this. Well, obviously, sub bass, and then we have this. Kind of helps mark the rhythm. So this is our metaphorical metronome here. Dun dun dun. To take me crashing down, bam 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 bam. Strike through light and dark, ba-da-bum ba-da-bum. Right. So this is the same sound as this. This is called the ARP preset, and then we have bounced Brahms. So I just took, I think this is brass ensemble, symphony series, something like that. It's a contact library, basically. Orchestra setup. What's this? Oh, this is probably it. Brass ensemble. This is the library that I use. Yeah, so I have this like one contact instrument where I would record all of my libraries, and then I would bounce them and just insert them here, just already bounced, so they wouldn't have to use as much CPU. I didn't really have a lot of like very complicated orchestral movements. Usually I just had to record like very short phrases. So here it's just a Bram doing 3 notes, bam bam bam, so that's pretty simple to record. So this is brass ensemble, and it's being distorted. So the original sounds like this. We have an OTT, destructor, some EQs, boost the bass a lot. We got some Saturn as well, even more distortion. And then I'm boosting the bass to then get rid of it. See? This is peak 2024 modus. This is the kind of thing that you do when you're when you're a professional producer. You pull off this shit. Brilliant. Hi Adrift, we're breaking down Warped Up Beyond All Recognition, one of the songs from my album Regnum Ultra, out now. We're going through every nook and cranny of this project. And yeah, we were just mentioning how on the Brahms, I boosted the bass to fuck, and then immediately cut the bass. High pass filter. Professional music production right here. Yeah, I just did the equivalent of bass Mount Everest, and then it was all for nothing. Yeah, it's not even being automated out. What if it wasn't there? There is quite a bit more bass, but to be fair, we already have a sub bass at home, so I get why I high-passed it in the end. And we have this. This is a more synthetic Bram. This is from a pack called Acer X Trailer Sound Effects Tools, Bram's Bender. So like starts at E, hovers up to F a little bit, and then goes back down to E. What brass plugins do you recommend? Libraries, rather. I would recommend 2 main brass libraries. Brass Ensemble, this is one. And then for French horns specifically, I would get Cinebrass Pro. And then they also have this thing called Monster Low Brass, which is also just really cool, like super intense tubas and trombones. So these two are, those 2 brass libraries make up the majority of my brass work. And then we have this, more synthetic Brahms. And that's the one that has the sound effect at the end. This is also from the same pack, I believe, or from a different pack, also from the same creator. So, no, it's the same pack. Trailer Sound Effects Tools, and then this is just a different Bram. That's that, and then I sampled, I pitched it. And there it is. And then there's this. Another. Yeah, just like tiny layering work. How many gigabytes of libraries do you have? Yes. Yes. And then there's this, which is probably like some hit. Oh yeah, it's a Bram with an impact, isn't it? Yeah. The original sounds like this. So I pitched it up and then added a bunch of effects. 2 Pro Cs actually. There's 2 distinct Pro Cs, and there's an EQ to take away the bass, because again we already have a sub at home. OTT, another EQ, and an imager. So that's that. So together we have the synthetic Brahms. And then when you combine that with the actual brass, you get this. And here what I did is I recorded a square version of the motif, ba-bum bum ba-da-bum bum bum, just with square waves, with all of these repetitions. So yeah, those are like baked in. You see all those notes. And then I ran this through probably Glitch 2. Yes, there it is, Glitch 2. And I had this exact pattern, and then I bounced it, and then I had a bunch of, oh, hey, we got Resonator in here. Haven't seen this plugin in a while. And then we also have Pitch Map in here. And every note is mapped to either B or E. So this is just doing a fifth. Bum, bum. And it's not actually at full mix. So it's like just shy of half mix level. So the original, that's how the original sounds. With all of those effects, the glitch, the resonator, and a frequency shifter in there. And then, as you can see, the shifter automates up to do that. There it is. And then we've got a delay at the end of the chain. So it stays on the next repetition of bow, 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 right? And then we have this. Basically the same sound that I used to do this. But now it's doing just a very standard bump, 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 bump. So again, another metaphorical metronome. Oh, and yeah, the resonator is there to make a little bit of a ring on an E note as the bass. So without this, we just get, without the resonator and the pitch map, it's just that, it's just a square. With the resonator, we get a little bit of a ring tuned to a bass E note. Bum 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 bum. See that? And then add the pitch map in there, and we get a little bit more color resonance out of it. Yeah, very, very subtle effects. And then we've got the hats, crashes, and trailer hits. Oh, and kicks as well. Kicks with trailer hits are based. They're really cool. They make things sound super cinematic, but they also have that sharp low end punch that dubstep needs. Boom, boom. Because if I kept the low end from the trailer hits, this is a very long low end. See that? That would have muddied up the entire sub bass here. Da, da, da. So I just take that out and just leave the sharp hit of the kicks. Because that's all we need, really. And then the vocals. These are, you guessed it, Kara vocal samples. And they sound like this, I think. Well, they're actually multiple Kara samples that I chopped together to make the phrase "You take me crashing down." So, yeah, this is where I took the "you," and then there's some other sample in here which they're not named. They're just named Modus Warped Up beyond all recognition. So I don't actually recall what the original Kara samples are, but just know that they are multiple Kara samples just stitched together to make her sing a different phrase than that does not actually exist as its own sample. So just taking different words from different like phrase snippets, and we're making our own lyrics with that. So we have one layer. And we have this. So it's just two octaves, really. And we have a pitch shifter, which is doing a fifth up of that. So without any effects, this is what the vocal sounds like. There it is. And then the effects here are as follows. We have an all-pass phase, make it sound bubbly, but this is most apparent once we actually add in the OTT. And then we have a kilohertz chorus, which is going to detune the sound just a little bit, and then OTT, that's going to really make the all pass phase a lot more noticeable. And then we have a ton of low end rumble, so we want to get that out. And then brighten things up quite a bit. And then we have the pitch shifter, which is going to give us that fifth. So see that? So we have it at 40% mix. And then we have a vocal synth, which is also off, but it will get turned on for a storm breaks just outside. Yeah, so here we have a vocal synth with a Polyvox preset, and this gets automated in when the like more whispery vocals, the last two phrases, a storm breaks just outside, you warp through space and time, those don't have a melody. They're like whispers. A storm breaks just outside. So they're like spoken word, right? And for those, the vocal synth gets turned on in there. We have a free balance for volume and destructor for just some clipping, some saturation, some like texture in there. And here I turned off the pitch shifter, so now it doesn't have the fifth anymore. Dun 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 dun. Oh, this is nice. This has the vocal synth turned on as well. So yeah, there's that. It's just a like mangled version of this. And I'm layering it in at certain points for that like dark, cybernetic, robotic layer like underneath. Light and dark. See that? So yeah, there's that. Let's keep going. Trailer hits. Snare rolls. These are probably the wrong snare because when I loaded the project in, it picked samples all over my computer and it probably picked the wrong samples. So this is probably Ultranova snare 2. Has that lighter sound to it. Yep, that's that. There you go. Snare rolls, and then all of the same layers, the usual. Let's keep going. So now we have established that bam, 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 and then we've already done it twice. So bam, 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 and then here bam, bam, bam. So now let's find a way to vary on that a little bit. And I just came up with this where it jumps up throughout the octaves a lot. So the sub bass gets warped up. Brain turned on. So yeah, the sub bass gets warped up beyond all recognition as well, and it just like starts shifting around the octaves. Da, 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 da. So in reality, it does this. Da, 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 da. But then I went, let's make that jump again. That sounds way cooler. And so I made the brass do the same, basically. So same effects on the Brahms. Would it give the same effect if you added vibrato to that square lead? The square lead, this one. Dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. Not really, because this is just 3 repeated hits instead of wum 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 wum, right? This is pop 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 pop. So yeah. And then the Scarlet Arp does some more things. Yeah. So this, I am pretty sure this I recorded myself. Let's find out.
A storm breaks just outside.
I am wrong. That's a text-to-speech. I stand corrected. And it sounds so fuck-ass when it doesn't have any effects. Like, just the raw thing sounds so fuck-ass.
A storm breaks just outside.
Wow, Paul, you sound different there.
A storm breaks just outside.
Well, I just picked up this like British TTS, and then I retimed the words. As you can see there, I did a lot of retiming work. Well, I put this through a whole bunch of effects here. So without any effects, this sounds like this.
A storm breaks just outside.
Okay, you might be noticing a lot of volume inconsistencies. The in a storm is super loud because once you run it through the effects, the impacts on the vocal, it hurts the attack of the vocals, so they don't hit as sharp, as hard. So I'm just manually taking those accents and just like boosting them like plus 20 dB, so it sounds correct after the whole chain has gone through.
A storm breaks just outside.
So you'll notice it like redlining to Hell and Beyond there, but this is actually just so once it goes through the whole chain, the like intelligibility of the vocal is preserved. So what's going on here? Let's see. First of all, we have the usual vocal processing. We have a de-esser.
A storm breaks just outside.
All pass face. Make it bubbly.
A storm breaks just outside.
You're noticing some of that. So it kind of sounds like it's coming out of a MacBook speaker. Or something like that. Killheart's chorus.
A storm breaks just outside.
Chorus, obviously. OTT.
A storm breaks just outside.
So now it's starting to take shape. And here it goes. This is a vocal synth with 3 separate effects. It's got BioVox, Vocoder, and CompuBox. So the first sounds like this.
A storm breaks just outside.
The second sounds like this.
A storm breaks just outside.
And the third one.
A storm breaks just outside.
That's what gives it the like bats value. That's what gives it the like whispery effect. So when you put the 3 together.
A storm breaks just outside.
Ah, there you go. Right, and I actually have 2 separate vocal synths. One for A Storm Breaks Just Outside, and another for You Warp Through Space and Time. So these two will automate, these two will basically crossfade. So right now this one is on, and the other one will turn on for the You Warp Through Space and Time, because it has a slightly different chain. The You Warp Through Space and Time has a polyvox added. Then we have an EQ. Get a little bit of brightness, tame the 4Ks in here. Soothe. Again, tame 4Ks. Spreader. For just a little like stereo definition. And then we've got one last EQ. Hi, Javier, what's up? We're warping up with this one. And then we have one more bass boost EQ, total reverb that we can automate in and out, and a filter. So that's the final sample. And then we have this as a complement to that. Hello? So it's basically the same sample as this. Here. This one's just an even more mangled version of it. And now it's way louder here. So it's even more mangled. So we have all of these together. So once again, we're taking the rhythm part of the motif, bum 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 bum, and we're putting it on the vocals. So we're syncing up the vocals to the rhythm of the motif, but we're also having the notes in there, bum 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 bum. So we have both the square wave and the spoken word synced up to the pacing of the motif. Also had a stupidly embarrassing combo with Flate. What do you mean? What do you mean by embarrassing? What happened? Storm breaks just outside. Yeah. But yeah, like as you can see, once it goes through the vocal synth, most importantly, and the OTT, you kind of have to do this to retain all of the like accents and the vocal properly and all that. And during all of this, we have an uplifter. I just sampled this from, I believe it was Supernova? Hello? Does search work? FX uplifter 140. This is probably Supernova. Or no, or not, because Supernova only has sirens. It's one of the Novas. Okay, guys? If you get the Nova bundle, that sample's in there somewhere. Probably Hyper. And yeah, here goes. With the vocals.
outside.
So throughout this whole thing, we have bam, bam, bam. That's the call, and then the vocals are the response. So it's like call, response, call, response, call, response. So, oh hey, we could use this now. This is sick, huh? So yeah, there it is. We could just do this now. How amazing of a tool is this, just to illustrate the. So as you can see, it's just